national issues. We need to talk about our policies and break them down to the understanding of an average Nigerian, and that is what we do here every weekday at this time. My name is Simeon Sunday, and of course, you're welcome to Bright Republic. So, Republicans, today you can be a part of the show by contributing via calls or via text message. We'll be giving out the numbers later on during the course of the program. And of course, I'm being joined this morning by Ejiro Onuata, who is finally back from his honeymoon. And let me officially announce that Ejiro has finally been taken. He's no longer a bachelor. Congratulations to you, Ejiro. And he is for those who are from Anambra State, he is now officially your in-law. Ogom.
Oh,
good morning to you. Let me call you that. Ogom. Good morning, Adrian.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simeon. It's good to be here again after a long week and
not long week, weeks.
Yeah, it's good to be here, and I thank God for everything.
Okay, thank God. Ejiro I cannot see him spot his band. I do not know why he hasn't started wearing his. You're not used to it yet.
We'll get used to it with time.
Okay, you get used to the band very soon. Anyway, congratulations to Ejiro Onwata, who's finally married, is done with his honeymoon. Yesterday, he told me, Simeon, I'm coming back. And I told him, Oga, why are you not spending 2 weeks with your lovely wife? Why are you back to work already? And he told me, brother, I'm used to work. My brother, you still have another work to do at home, which is necessary.
At the other room, right?
No, let's give that later. Children are listening. Anyway, you're welcome to Bright Republic. And today we'll be going through some of the trending headlines making the rounds nationally. And for those who have been following the news lately, you will actually know that some will actually call it a sad time for us as Nigerians, as an event actually took place over the weekend. Two events that actually shocked Nigerians to our spine. Over the weekend, there were reports that over 100 people were actually burned to death at a particular illegal refinery somewhere in Imo State. According to the report, a fire raised an illegal crude oil refinery or refining site at Abezi Forest in Ohaji, Igbema Council of Imo State. And it's a sad time, and seeing the videos on social media, literally no one can be recognized. I think the government, for them to even ascertain who is who, a DNA test has to be conducted. But there are also reports that the over 100 persons that were burned to death at this illegal crude oil refining site will be given mass burial recently this week. And also, it was a sad time for Nigerians, as we actually lost Oba Adeyemi, the Alafin of Oyo, over the weekend. He was also laid to rest according to Islamic rite and all of that. So it's a sad time for Nigerians, losing over 100 people to activities of illegal oil bunkers and refiners, and also losing a monarch in the country, the Alafin of Oyo.
Well, I would like to say, may the soul of the departed rest in peace. And for the refinery, the illegal refinery, you see, I've been clamoring for government to really give license to such refinery. So just, if you're able to give license to such persons, the necessary things will be put in place, necessary check will be put in place. We don't really know what really happened, what make the fire to really engulf such persons. But if they were given a license, at least some measures will have been put in place, and then such disaster can be averted.
Okay, it's a sad one for Nigeria. And on that particular development on the Punch, the headline says, Imo explosion, Buhari orders clamp down on illegal refineries. The President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired Sunday in Abuja, described the death of tens of Nigerians on Friday night in the explosion of an illegal refinery in Imo State as a catastrophe and a national disaster. He consequently directed the nation's armed forces security and intelligence agencies to intensify a clampdown on illegal refineries. And we know that no fewer than 100 people were killed on Friday night at around 8 o'clock. Some reports actually have it that it's about 150, while some reports still have it that it's about 200 people. There is no specific number that's been reported. Every newspaper platform has their own numbers according to the reports they publish on the newspaper. And even according to a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the President, Garabashiu, the President reacted to the incident by saying responsibility for the loss of lives and property must squarely lie with the sponsors of the illegal refinery. And these people must be caught and made to face justice. So now, looking at this particular report, when I saw that video over the weekend, I saw the video on Saturday morning, I felt a sharp palpitation of my heart, because at that point I couldn't bear it, seeing the video of human beings burnt beyond recognition, burnt to the point that you can no longer see their flesh. All you're seeing is their bones and their skulls. And this gets to show the intensity of the fire, and also lets you understand how long the fire ravaged that particular location for a long time. For it to burn human flesh to the point you see bones and skulls, it goes to show it burned for a long time. And these are oils. This is oil. It's a refinery, illegal refinery. So you're dealing with an inflammable material that can explode at any time. Several times, we've seen several government officials actually talk about this illegal refinery some time ago. Even the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, actually made it known that illegal refiners, once they are caught, they'll be brought to book and all of that. Despite all we've seen, those bunkering, those illegally refining fuel and crude oil, we've seen same catastrophe happen over the years. And it seems like these people do not learn. They are not learning from past experiences. And even after this incident, we will still see people still indulge in this.
My heart goes out to those that lost their loved one in that incident. But the truth is, this act is actually, like the newspaper said, is actually illegal. And I think what the government should actually do is try and find out those behind these illegal refineries. Like you said, it's not actually right. You're saying government should give these people a license. Yes, they do not have license to operate. So those such refineries should, the owners or people sponsoring those refineries should be gone after. Like, they should go for them and bring each of them to book, because even after this incident, we will still see that these people, they will still continue whatever production they are doing in that place. So what we expect the government, as the president has ordered security agencies, they should actually go for these people, look for those of them, that the people that are sponsoring them, the owners of these illegal refineries, so as to put an end to this kind of incidents.
Talking about this, and even still in the report some time ago, even a particular vice chancellor of a particular university actually ordered the federal government to implement policy on modular refineries, because what modular refineries actually do for the economy of any country, especially oil producing regions, you always see this happen. As long as you have crude oil in regions like this, it is almost inevitable, especially in this climate, to always see bunkering. You see people illegally refining oil. I think some time ago in Bright Republic, I think last year, a particular person, Jide Ojo, actually came on board and was discussing still on oil bunkering and refineries in the country, and how he went to a particular state, and in the well that was dug, it is no longer water, it is actually oil, crude oil. You can actually see it. So people actually have access to these things. But if modular refineries have been set up in these oil producing areas, it will actually help curb the rate of the illegal refineries we're hearing about, the oil theft and the bunkering we are seeing, because these people have been given licenses to run this modular refineries for this in that particular region. And this will actually help us in our oil production, rather than exporting all the crudes to outside the shores of the country.
Yes, it will help in a great measure, because it will serve as a source of revenue for that state, and then at the same time some safety measures will be put in place. Some sharp practices will be avoided, because these persons, I want to believe, as a result of, they know what they are doing is illegal, So sharp practices are being activities are being taking place there, and this could lead to what we had now. So I think it's high time the government start looking towards that direction. Get these persons, give them license to operate legally, so that they can really have a very safe environment where they work.
Okay, away from that particular development, let's move on to another headline on the Punch newspaper, which says 2023 uncertainty trails Jonathan's candidacy in APC. 2023 uncertainty trails Jonathan's candidacy in APC. And now to the details. Part of the headline also say Jonathan's backers in dilemma over APC's past attacks on ex-president, fear rejection. And also the vice president will emerge candidate. Supporters of Osuji are saying, and Tinubu's support group is also saying aspirants looking for consensus are lazy. Nobody will impose candidates. At the consultation between former President Goodluck Jonathan and some leaders of the All Progressive Congress for Jonathan to emerge as the presidential candidate has been rejected by support groups working for some presidential aspirants of the party. And groups loyal to presidential aspirants of the party, including the APC national leader and former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as well as the vice president Yemi Osinbajo, in separate interviews with the Punch, dismissed the consensus plot for the ex-president. It was also gathered that those who were behind the plot and some members of the National Working Committee of the party feared that it might not sail through. It was also learned that although the plan had been announced, opposition to it was already swelling among members. And according to a report on Saturday by the Punch, it was reported that Jonathan had informed some APC leaders that he would only join the presidential race if it was directly endorsed by the president, talking about Buhari. And the information was revealed to the Punch shortly after Jonathan's poster flooded, the national secretariat of the APC. And some youth groups stormed Jonathan's office in Maitama area of Abuja, calling on him to join the race. And in his response, the former president actually told protesters that he could not say for sure if he would declare or not, but only advised his supporters to watch out. And now looking at this, a lot of people are actually who understand that the political moves of the former president of the country have actually said there is a possibility that the president might actually come out to contest or declare his intention in the coming days, before the 2023 election, even before the primaries of the APC. Remember, we had a political analyst here some time ago who clearly said he is putting his money and that Nigerians should know this at no peace, that Goodluck Jonathan will emerge as the APC's consensus candidate. The issue of consensus candidacy has been in the front burner. We've heard a lot of people kick against this. Asiwaju is one of such, the vice president is one of such, and even some key stakeholders within the party who have declared their intention. And now the question a lot of people are asking, why will Jonathan want to come back? Remember in his statement, he said Nigerians, he did not clearly tell if he was going to come out to contest or not. All he said is watch out. So watch out, and seeing the former president's body language, a lot of Nigerians are putting this together, piecing things together, putting the chips and saying there's a possibility he will contest under the APC. And if he decides to contest, he might be handed the consensus presidential ticket of the party. But we've seen supporters say no, nobody will come from the back burner and take over the presidential ticket of the party that we have been fighting for. Remember, Asiwaju have said it has been his lifelong ambition to be the president of the country. Osinbajo is here saying he is yet to consolidate on the activities of the president and also continue on the path of this particular administration. And the question now is, will the former president contest or not? And if he will contest, some are saying it is under the APC. He will be doing that. So we should keep our fingers crossed and anticipate the declaration of the former president as he wants to become the president under the APC.
Simeon, I don't know how the APC will pull this through because given the antecedent of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and then the vice president, these are persons who have been working on the ground, consulting, and then all of a sudden you're bringing forth a consensus candidate to, I don't know where they will shift them to. But then, Goodluck Jonathan, for me, is a man who have really gathered experience, given the fact that he has been the former president, and I want to believe he has learned his lessons, because during the 2015, we all saw how PDP, in my own words, I feel they betrayed Goodluck Jonathan. Some persons in PDP betrayed Goodluck Jonathan. Some persons worked against Goodluck Jonathan. So if he's not coming under PDP, I think he's making the right decision, because he has really learned that PDP cannot give him what he wanted. So probably going to APC, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think now Nigerians will be voting for individuals, not just party. For the fact that he's going to APC, so many persons will vote for him. So many persons will vote for APC because of that reason. So I think him going to APC is a good one, and he should really come out early enough to really declare his intention. Yes, he's waiting for the president to endorse him. I don't know how that will happen, but if he's really running for 2023, then he should get his foot on the right track.
Oh, okay, tell me, before you come on board, I know you have something to say about this one, because this is something of a particular interest to your utmost interest. But now, looking at this, a lot of Nigerians have actually said, looking at the position of the former president and seeing how some said ceremoniously left power, some said unceremoniously left power, having been defeated by the recent president, talking about Muhammadu Buhari. Some said, yes, you have gained the position of an elder statesman in the country, and this will be a dent on his image if, one, he decides to recontest to be president again, and two, doing this under the umbrella of the All Progressive Congress.
Simeon, the former president is in Nigeria, and he has every right to be voted, and he has every right to vote and be voted for. Him coming back to contest is not a problem. He can come back because he has the experience, and I don't see it as a dent to his image. If he wants to come into power again, doing it under any political platform, platform he wishes, that's his decision. Whether he does it under the platform of the umbrella, that's APC, or he does it under the PDP. But my problem is the issue of consensus candidates. If that happened in the APC, we will see a lot of aggrieved members. This brings me to, I think last week, the president swore in chief justices, and he said he is aware that after the primaries and even after the 2023 election, there will be aggrieved members. So I think probably the president knows what he is doing. Probably the APC is going to, we know them for always bringing up their consensus candidates. I'm seeing it in this slide that the president is actually looking forward to pitch. Some people have actually said that Jonathan is Buhari's anointed candidate. There are speculations like that. We don't know how true it is. So it's actually possible for the president to actually use the former president as his consensus candidate and push it to the party. So I think in the coming days, if Goodluck declare under the platform of the APC, we are going to be seeing a lot of aggrieved members. We are going to be seeing each of them dragging each other to court. So let's wait and see how that pans out for the All Progressive Congress.
Let's see how it pans out for the APC. A lot of people have actually said time is running out, especially for those who might want to indicate interest to run for the presidency in the APC in 2023. There are also reports the APC have actually slated their primaries for some time in May. That's 29th to the 31st of May. So some will actually say the former president still has a couple of days or even weeks to declare his intention. So Nigerians, according to the words of Goodluck Jonathan as reported by The Punch, just watch out. So let us watch out and see if what has been speculated is true. But they say there's always an iota of truth in every speculations or rumor you get to hear. Away from that, quickly, let us move on to another headline on Daily Trust newspaper. Daily Sun, I beg your pardon. And on Daily Sun, let's move before the Daily Sun. Let's take this because it is in relations to the headline we just read on The Punch. It says 2023, no cabal can impose president on Nigerians. This is according to Pius Ayim, is on The Punch newspaper. A presidential aspirant on the platform of the PDP, Pius Ayim, has assured Nigerians that no cabal in Nigeria's seat of power would dictate to the country who the next president will be. Ayim said any Nigerian with the impression that some inner caucus arrangement would produce the president in 2023 should come of it, noting that he would have his first shot at the presidential seat in 2023 and would win it. The former president of the Senate, who has spoken in a monitored radio program in Lagos, actually made this particular statement. He was asked by a caller how he intended to deal with the cabal in Aso Rock to become the next president. And Ayim said, maybe you still have the impression that it is Aso Rock that will ordain who the next president will be. I do not share that particular view. According to me, said the new Electoral Act, people have more confidence that their votes will definitely count. So no cabal in Aso Rock will actually impose who the next president of the country will be. So now looking at this statement by Ayim Pius Ayim and all of that, it seems like the world of certain, the words of certain individuals or reports of certain individuals trying to impose a candidate on Nigerians have actually been filtering in the political space. A lot of people are saying certain people in Aso Rock are invariably referring to the president, because that is the insinuations some Nigerians are making at the particular time, and also understanding Goodluck's candidacy as well. That there's someone that Aso Rock wants to, impose on Nigerians as the next president. So now looking at Ayim is saying the Electoral Act has been signed to law, so Nigerians are sure that their vote will count, and nobody in Aso Rock will actually impose any candidate on Nigerians, as he, as an aspirant, will contest and will win the election.
Well, I don't know about him contesting and winning, but one thing I know for sure
I want to
is
say you should contest the primaries and win primaries first.
Yes.
Before the main election.
Yes, because one thing I know for sure is that our vote must count this time. That I know for sure, but I don't know about Ayim contesting and winning, because you see, these days we keep seeing so many endorsements. Like over the weekend we heard about Ango Abdullahi, right?
Mm-hmm. Ango Abdullahi.
Yes, endorsing Saraki and Bala Mohammed. You see, we'll see such things happen, but you see, Ango Abdullahi is just one person. There are so many other groups that will come out to endorse other persons. All right. So I don't think any candidate should be scared of whatever. Just go and do your work and then expect the people to vote for you, because now we are not going to wait for you to tell us you're going to build skyscrapers and then put ACs on the streets. No, we want to know how you intend to achieve what you want to do. Because if you're telling us that you're going to give us good roads, tell us how you generate the funds, because we don't expect you to tell us that you're going to borrow from Chinese, because the Chinese are no longer giving money. So now it's high time they all sit down and know what they are doing. There's no more endorsement. You endorse somebody and then we have to decide. We, the voters, will decide who will lead us. It's not just telling us that you've endorsed anybody. You have just one vote.
Mm.
Okay, yes, I'll be agreeing with Ayim Pius Ayim on this, that no cabal in the Aso Rock would actually impose any candidates. In 2023, in the coming general election, every one of us, we are going out to actually vote for the person we want in power. So we are in a democratic system of government whereby we are allowed to vote and be voted for. And this is what we are going to do. We are going to exercise our franchise. When the time comes, we are going to go out in mass and vote for the candidate. So we are not expecting anybody to come and push a particular candidate on us, or a consensus candidate, and say, okay, yes, this is my anointed candidate. No, we are going to go out as Nigerians and actually vote for who we want.
Okay, Nigerians will definitely go out to vote for who they want in the coming elections. And away from that, quickly, let's move on to the next headline. And this one is on the Daily Sun. It says, Insecurity, opposition cooker to blame for U.S. delay in delivering 12 Tucano fighter jets. This is according to a statement from the presidency. The presidency yesterday blamed opposition as well as Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Asan Kuka, for the United States of America's delay to deliver 12 to Super Tucano jet fighters for the Nigerian Air Force to fight insecurity across the country. And according to a statement by the SSA to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, titled "Predicting Nigeria's Collapse is a Perennial Pursuit of U.S. Think Tanks and Policy Experts." The presidency said U.S. perception of the Christian-Muslim relations in Nigeria is chaotic, whereas the result of the narrative from Kuka and those opposing Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The presidency noted that the delay was compounded by constant lobbying of U.S. Congress by the government's opponents, including Kuka. And it added that the U.S. policy and support to Nigeria have been so inconsistent over the years, especially as regards the provision of military equipment to fight the decade-long insecurity in the Sahel region. So now looking at this, the presidency is now throwing blames on some Nigerians, especially the opposition, those who have been opposing this administration, as being part of the reason why the relationship between the U.S. and Nigeria is not as beneficially mutual as it used to be. And this is because of, the Christian-Muslim relations, as a lot of people have always opposed this administration. And one key vocal person has always been Bishop Kuka. So he's blaming them for the reason why there's a delay in the delivery of this Super Tucano jet, which the U.S. was supposed to deliver to Nigeria in fighting insecurity across the country.
Well, Simeon, I want to believe some of those Tucano jets were delivered to Nigeria some time ago. I don't know if I'm correct.
There's still more jets to be delivered by the United States.
How far have they gone with the ones that were delivered? What have they really done with those ones? I mean, we need to start seeing results. I mean, this administration, we know they keep blaming everybody, blaming PDP. They keep blaming. I think it's high time they stop the blame game and then face the reality on ground. Kuka is only coming out to criticize what he sees, what is happening. So I don't think they should really put the blame at the doorstep of Kuka. I think they should really go ahead to do the needful. I want to believe that if they do the needful, even Kuka himself will come out to really praise them, to say something good about them. I don't believe that Kuka really hates the administration. He's just saying what is real. The reality on ground is what he's expressing. So I don't think they should blame Kuka for that. They should face the reality on ground and then do the needful with the Tucano jet they already had.
You see this administration, and they would not want to take blame for anything. Blaming Bishop and other people that have been criticizing the administration, these people are just concerned. They are seeing things and they are complaining about them. So pegging this that the delivery of the Tucano jet is because of Bishop Kuka and some other critic, it doesn't even add up for me. And even the ones we have presently in the country, how have we been able to use them in the fight against insecurity? So it is high time they drop this, like Ejibo said, let them drop this blame card and start taking responsibility for their actions.
Okay, drop the blame card and start taking responsibility for your actions. It's 8:30, and we'll take one or two headlines, and then we'll officially introduce our guest who we have in the studio, as we'll be talking about some of the statements on the headlines right now. And this one has to do with insecurity and the preparation of INEC as regards the 2023 election. But before we get into that conversation with our guest, who's already here somewhere seated in the studio, let's move on to another headline on the papers this morning, and this leads me to the endorsements Ejiro mentioned, and this is on Daily Trust newspaper, and it says consensus: Northern elders deny endorsing Saraki Mohammed. The Northern Elders Forum has distanced itself from reports that it has endorsed former Senate President Bukola Saraki and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed as consensus presidential aspirants of the PDP from the north. And Saraki Mohammed, Governor Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto, as well as Mohammed Ayatuddin, had worked to produce a consensus candidate. Remember, they were flying across the length and breadth of the northern region trying to get a consensus northern candidate. Anyway, the announcement of Mohammed and Saraki as northern consensus presidential aspirant of the PDP by Professor Ango Abdullahi over the weekend, which was on Friday, continued to generate reactions. Tambuwal had since dissociated himself from the outcome. And even the Northern Elders Forum have also distanced themselves from this, the statement made by Ango Andulai endorsing Mohammed Ansaraki as the sole presidential candidate, consensus presidential candidate from the North, knowing that there are other candidates from the Northern region that are also like the likes of the Atiku Abubakar to them. And now looking at this particular development, everyone is denying, this, dissociating themselves from this statement made by Ango Andulai. And now who should we believe? Should we believe the Northern Elders Forum dissociating themselves from this, or is Ango Andulai privy to certain information from the Northern region that some Nigerians are not privy to? Hence, his open declaration of his consent to Mohammed Ansaraki becoming the consensus presidential candidate of the PDP from the North.
Well, in 2011, PDP attempted having a consensus candidate, but it didn't work. So I don't see this one working as well. Like you just said, Tambo has disassociated himself from that due to I was listening to him this morning when he said they had an understanding that they are going to meet and then release a press statement that the consensus candidacy will not work. But he was surprised that Saraki and Bala Mohammed were being endorsed by Ango Andulai. I think PDP should be very careful with some of this group rather should be very careful with the way they put forth candidates that are not does not have a national spread. I have a lot of respect for Saraki, but I think he doesn't really have that national spread when it comes to, if you want to endorse somebody, I think it should be someone like Atiku, because he has the national spread. Every state you go to, there's somebody that knows Atiku. There are persons, they have structures everywhere. So I don't really think PDP should really look forward to somebody who has a national spread, not just endorsing, because when you do that, you find out that, yes, probably he might win in the middle belt and some other states, but how about the South? So I think they should be very careful putting forth names.
Okay, I've seen a lot of analysis and narrative on social media about the statement created to Ango Andulai, endorsing Saraki and Mohammed. Someone saying this was done because they want to upset the APC. They say put your worst foot forward and let them think that's your best candidate. When you see that, it will determine the outcome of who they want to emerge as the APC consensus candidate, if they decide to go the consensus route as speculated. But whatever it is, let's just keep our fingers crossed and get to see how it pans out for the APC and the PDP. And lastly, before we move on to the main conversation, and this one is on the newspapers saying 2023, Aisha Buhari advises presidential aspirants to pick women as running mates, canvasses free, fair election. The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, at the weekend met with presidential aspirants drawn from all political parties with a plea on the aspirants to adopt women as their running mates in the forthcoming 2023 presidential poll. This was just as one of the aspirants, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and Labour Minister Chris Ngige, called on fellow aspirants to imbibe the doctrine of politics without bitterness and ensure unity among themselves. The First Lady who hosted the aspirant to IFTA, that is the breaking of fast at the State House, Abuja, also urged political parties to reserve certain percentage of contestable offices for women. According to her, considering the voting strength and involvement of women in politics, they should be adopted as running mates in the forthcoming election. And now, looking at this statement, remember over the weekend when we last had our last episode of Bright Republic last week, we actually set this on the headline where an invitation letter actually surfaced on social media and even in the press, where the president's wife, talking about Aisha Buhari, actually invited all presidential aspirants from all political parties to a iftar at the presidential villa. And speculations raised. A lot of people asked a question: why will the president's wife, the first lady, invite all presidential aspirants to the breaking of the Ramadan fast. So many speculations were there. Some said she wanted to lobby for a particular candidate. So many things was put out there in the social space and in the media. And now we can categorically get to understand why this was done in the first place. According to reports, the first lady did this because she wanted to lobby for a position for women. And that is why she actually enjoined all presidential aspirants to ensure to pick a lady or a woman as their running mate. So some would say it's a welcome development. For those who have been very critical of the action of the first lady when this invitation actually hits the public space in the first place, now they can actually calm their nerves and know that the first lady was actually trying to pitch the candidacy of a woman, at least as a running mate to all the presidential aspirants come 2023.
Well, first off, I think it's a good one that the first lady, we've started hearing one or two things about her. For a long time, we've not really heard enough about the first lady really coming out to really, that office has been kind of dormant, I would say. I would have loved to see how Temitope will have reacted to this, but then it's a good one that she's really advocating for the vice president position for ladies, because since they really want to take power is not just given, it's taken. So if we have probably a lady for a vice president, with time, they'll be able to learn the ropes. They'll be able to learn how to really govern Nigeria, because Nigeria is not a space that you just come and then they give you power. You have to take it. And taking it, you must have experience, because when you acquire power, you don't have experience, man, it's not going to spell. It's going to be something else for you.
Okay, so our woman leader in the house, in the floor of the Bright Republic. So, Temitope, so looking at this particular development, you were one of those who was actually asking, what will the first lady say to the presidential aspirants? What will be the basis of the conversation aside the breaking of fast? So now we all know that she's lobbying for a position for women.
It's actually a very welcome development, saying that women candidates or aspirants should look at considering women as their running mate. Like Ejiro said, power is not given, power is taken. So having women as vice president is actually is going to be a very nice platform, and from there we can see women take positions like the president, because we've actually not seen a female vice president in the Nigerian space. So it's actually a welcome development. I think that was even the main focus of that iftar dinner that was done on Saturday night.
Okay, anyway, that is it on the developments with the first lady and the outcome of the Ramadan breaking of fast, talking about iftar, where she had that with all aspirants, presidential aspirants across all political parties in the country. So now it's time for us to move on to our main conversation for today right here on the show. And of course, we'll be talking about INEC's preparedness towards the 2023 election, especially with the spate of insecurity that has been reported, and with INEC staff being attacked just about a little over a week ago. It was actually in the news that an INEC official was killed during the continuous voter registration exercise known as CVR exercise in Iyite Uboma local government area of the state, and that is talking about Imo State. And according to the REC, the resident electoral commissioner, Professor Emeka Izonu Nwokore, who was the INEC official, was killed at Nkwo Iyite PU 004 in Amakohia ward of Iyite Uboma local government area, while the whereabouts of two other staff who were involved in the registration exercise were unknown at the time of the report. And based on the tragic incident, INEC actually suspended the continuous voter exercise in the local government area in Imo State. Although there are recent reports at the moment that INEC have actually lifted the suspension on the voter registration in Imo State based on the intervention of the governor, Hope Uzodinma, recently. It's even on the Punch newspaper this particular morning. According to the report, INEC actually agreed to lift the suspension on the continuous voter registration, which was halted in Imo State following the attack by gunmen on a staff who was actually killed, and two other people who are yet to be identified. And according to him, the CVR will commence today, which is Monday. So in Imo State, the CVR will continue today in Imo State. Now, looking at this particular development, we know that INEC are the sole body responsible for the conduct of election in the country, as well as the 2023 election that we will be seeing. A lot of questions have been raised as to the security of the lives of Nigerians first, and also the security of the lives of INEC officials, who INEC have actually said are up to 1 million people who will be carrying out the exercise across the country. And also looking at the security of properties, as there are reports in the news space at this particular moment that INEC reported that over 40 of its facilities have been attacked just recently in 2022 alone, and this has caused a lot of worry for INEC itself. It has caused a lot of worry for the election process as well, and this has been on the front burner of several conversation this morning, and that is what we'll be discussing right here on Bright Republic. Of course, I'll be introducing my guest who's already seated in the studio, and right here we have our guest, Justice Osuji. He's a political analyst as well as a public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Justice Osuji.
Thank you, Mr. Senior.
Great to have you on the show this morning.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so now looking at the reports in the media and what we've actually seen in the past couple of days, where INEC have actually raised security red flag. According to the INEC, 42 of its facilities have been attacked in 14 states across the federation, and even recently also INEC expressed concerns over the lack of internal democracy in political parties, as well as unwilling nature of political actors to accept electoral outcomes, and these have actually contributed to the insecurity we've seen in most parts of the country. So now looking at this, let's talk about INEC's preparedness going into the 2023 election, and also the preparedness of INEC also going into the primaries of the all political parties that will be happening in the coming weeks. Looking at what INEC has several times on the media space said they are ready, despite the insecurity going on, despite what the number of killings, the death they've reported of their staff, as well as the attack on their facilities. They've said they are prepared. Now, looking at it from your own view, do you think with the spate of insecurity in the country, especially we've seen the unrest in the southeastern part of the country, we've seen banditry attacks in the northwest and in the north central, as well as the activities of Boko Haram in the northeastern part of the country. It seems like every part of the country has its own form of unrest or battling with the devil of insecurity at the moment. Do you think INEC is ready for the 2023 election?
All right, thank you, Mr. Simeon. The insecurity in the country is self-evident, and it goes without contention. It is very clear, visible to the blind and audible to the deaf, that the state has lost monopoly of the use of legitimate violence to non-state actors. And this is sad, it's saddening. And like Obafemi Awolowo of great memory would say, that there is a frightening danger ahead to those who can visibly see beyond their self and narrow interest. That the ship of nation, our ship of state, is heading towards the rock, and until we courageously rise as the chief henchman, it may hit the rock. Now, talking about INEC's preparedness, one thing is very sacrosanct. There must be 2023 election. It's beyond INEC. Is statutory, is constitutional by virtue of Section 132 of the Constitution. INEC must conduct election within a window, within a time frame I think it should be within 150 days of the exit of the incumbent, or not earlier and not later than 130 days. So it is beyond contention, it is statutory, it's beyond INEC, it's beyond us, it's even beyond the presidency that there must be an election. But what we are now talking about is how prepared are they to do this? Can we go to sleep? Can we go to bed with the assurance of the INEC chairman that he is very prepared to conduct the 2023 election with the rate of insecurity in the country? Yes, we have had insecurity in the past. We have had in Borno. We conducted election in 2015. The same happened in 2019. But the rate of insecurity then, is it the same thing we are experiencing now? In 2015, it was in a particular corner of Maiduguri. But today, virtually all the states in the country have had an unfair share of insecurity. Now, can you now exclude them? How do you intend to register voters when their security is not assured? Look, take for instance what happened in Imo State. People coming out to do their continuous voters registration. We are sent home. And next up, was killed. Mr. Anthony was killed. Now, how do you now go into election when you are unsure of registering voters? Can you go into election without voters? How prepared are you? Have you been able to distribute these voters' cards without hitches? These are questions that are germane. Now, every part of the country, the road is under siege, the railway is under siege, the airports are not left out. How do you distribute these permanent voters' cards? How do you distribute sensitive materials? As I'm talking to you now, ordinarily, INEC should have commenced polling unit distribution, polling unit registration of continuous voters registration. But at this moment, they restrain themselves to the local government. Why are they doing so? Because they are uncertain. They cannot guarantee the safety and security of their officials vis-a-vis that of the electorates. So how prepared would they say they are?
Okay, so now looking at this and all you've clearly stated, it seems to show that as much as INEC have clearly stated several times that they are prepared going into the 2023 election, but there are germane concerns raised by Nigeria, of which insecurity is a part of. Without a secured, environment, no election can actually even take place in the first place, because we'll see some areas where INEC will actually tell you they couldn't go there because of the insecurity in that particular area. As a result of that, other arrangements should be made, and this is speculation of what Nigerians are hoping to see, especially if the spate of insecurity is not quelled in the country at this particular moment. Now, looking at the concerns you've raised about security, it is germane. It is necessary that INEC officials as well as INEC answer this question. But critically looking at this, from an eagle's eye point of view, now INEC have said they are ready for the election, no problem. So now, how sure are we that the security can actually guarantee this peaceful process of election if a CVR, continuous voter registration, cannot be peacefully guaranteed in Imo State? These have actually set a precedent of which a lot of conversation have been raised, that if an INEC official can not only be attacked but killed, shot and killed by unknown gunmen in Imo State, what happens, what becomes of other regions of the same southeastern state as well as the northern region, what we see attacks by bandits and kidnappers?
Thank you. Like I clearly stated, INEC will not say that they are much prepared. Why at this moment, they should have taken the continuous voters registration down to polling units so that the people in the hinterlands can be captured. Why did they restrain themselves to only the local government headquarters? It is because of security challenges. We have to accept that very clearly so that we can stem the tides, so that we can look for solutions. We can look for ways to ensure that these things are carried out seamlessly. Now, in Kaduna, they have suspended continuous voters registration. The same thing with Anambra State. And you cannot be doing this and also be claiming that you are prepared towards this election. The primary elections is by the corner, and the voters have not registered. How about the people that are displaced? Because when you are displaced, when there is insecurity in your place, and the least thing you can think of is your permanent voter's card, what arrangement have you made to register these persons in their different IDPs? What arrangement have you also made to locate polling units in these different IDPs to ensure that these electorates exercise their civic duties? By virtue of Section 14, the state policy, the objective principle of state policy, one of it is to protect life of the citizens and their welfare. By Section 2 and paragraph C, to ensure that the citizens participate in the government of the state. How do you participate in the government of the state when you cannot actively participate in electing the people that will represent you? Because in Nigeria, we don't practice direct democracy. We practice indirect democracy, where we elect representatives who will go to the government and speak for you. Now, how would you say that you take part in this process when you cannot guarantee that you take part in the election process? Without your PVC, without being enrolled in this registration, you cannot vote. And if they do not vote, if majority of the citizens do not vote, you cannot say that the election is fair, free, and credible. And the destination of every free, fair, and credible election is electoral justice. If you disenfranchise persons by reason that are not of theirs, not by their actions or their omissions or their failures or inadvertencies, but purely because of the failure of the government they elected to protect them and to guarantee their safety at the polling units, then it becomes very worrisome and troublesome.
Okay, so now looking at this, a lot of people have actually said the responsibility of INEC has been on INEC to ensure there's a free and fair election. But let's also not take out other stakeholders, stake actors that are responsible for the outcome of elections. As much as INEC's responsibility is to ensure there's election and the process is free and is fair, everyone is involved. Let's also look at the position of other stakeholder actors, the government that should ensure the security of lives and property. Let's look at the Nigerians, the electorates themselves, and their outcome, the process they carry out, their activity, their reaction to the election, and all of that. So now, a lot of Nigerians have actually said there is a possibility that as much as INEC have actually stated that their budget for this year is over 239 billion naira. It was even in the news over the weekend that 239 billion naira has been earmarked for the purchase of electoral materials alone, 239 billion. This is to ensure that the conduct of election is free and fair. But if the state actors, the government cannot guarantee the security and life, because INEC cannot protect you. Even INEC cannot protect itself except the government ensure other stakeholders, the security agencies, protect INEC staff as well as Nigerians who will come out to vote. At that point, we cannot say the election is free and fair. So now let's look at the responsibility of state actors. The federal government, whose responsibility is to ensure that INEC at first, they have all the security, their staff are protected at the highest point. The electorate as well are protected as well, because it seems like the bulk of the blame are now thrown at INEC. And INEC is not even responsible for the insecurity we are facing as a nation.
Thank you. The bulk of this work does not revolve on INEC. Neither is it the sole responsibility of the government. In as much as we want the government to use their state architecture to reorient the masses, to do what I call moral rearmament, the people need to be united against insecurity. They need to see that it's us against insecurity. Now,
so how do they go about it?
Like I said, the state must make use of their architecture. They must preach unity. Now, listen, let me tell you something. The greatest enemy of the state is the tribe. When people lose faith in the state, they resort to non-state actors. They find solace in their tribe, and they begin to cause issues. But when you make people to have faith in the country, they will be united. So this thing happened in Colombia when the drug lords were causing mayhem there. The people became united and saw it as our fight against them. When we see it, when the citizens see it, it's not only something that should be left for the military. When the citizens see it as us against insecurity, when they see it that there is no other country that we can call our own, when they see it that this is our nation, the person you are calling an unknown gunman is somebody's uncle, is somebody's brother, is somebody's wife, is somebody's neighbor. If the citizens can show allegiance, total allegiance, not divided allegiance, to the state, to the government, you will find that we will be close to eradicating insecurity.
Okay, so as looking at, as much as you're saying, it's now a fight of not just the state against the non-state actors, the collective responsibility of Nigerians as well as the state actors against these non-state actors who are the bandits we've seen so far in the country. So now you said one, that Nigerians have to have belief in the system. So has the federal government done enough to ensure that Nigerians actually trust the government enough so as to see this fight as a collective fight against these non-state actors, wreaking havoc on Nigerians, even at election times?
I wouldn't say that they have done enough. Remember what I said, that the basic objective of every government is the protection. That is the primary responsibility of every government. For them to fail in that regard means that they have failed in their primary assignment. Now, as the chief henchmen, as the citizens, will we now allow them, will we allow our state, will we allow our government? Government is a continuum. Tenures come and go. What the government have to do is to ensure that there is faith. There can't be unity without faith in the center. That is even why our nation has placed faith and unity. You cannot have faith, you cannot be united when there is no faith. So the government must do everything. There must be inclusion. There must be this sense of belonging. When you do not give people sense of belonging, they will form allegiance with the non-state actors, and it will be it will come with their consequences, dangerous consequences on the state that the state cannot be able to curtail. So at every point in time, the state must not be divisive. You must show it in everything you're doing. The vociferous outcry here and there, they have reasons. You must look for a way to put paid to them. You must listen to the minority. You must also listen to the majority. You must not divide the country into some percentage. When you do that, you are definitely creating problem for the center.
Okay, as much as you stated that this fight against Nigerians need to start seeing the issue of insecurity as a fight against the non-state actors, we need to take responsibility of Nigerians. So in this case, a lot of Nigerians who are listening, because aside our normal deliberation, we also find a way to seek solutions to some of these national issues, because whether we like it or not, insecurity will definitely, if it's not properly handled, will affect the outcome of the national election. And a lot of Nigerians will actually come out after the conduct of the election to say it is not free and fair. A lot of people were disenfranchised, their PVCs and all of that wearing, their biometrics wearing captured. And all boils down to insecurity, because we know there are certain regions in the country that INEC cannot even go to at this particular moment to carry out the continuous voter registration. So looking at this, what can the average Nigerian do? As much as we know that there's a responsibility on the government to ensure lives and property are protected, what can the average Nigerian do? You said it's time for us to see it as a fight. Should Nigerians actually pick up arms during election day? Everybody hold their own pistol somewhere. This will actually cause chaos if this is done. So what way can Nigerians see this fight as theirs and ensure that they secure their own lives as well as the lives of every other Nigerian going into the election?
All right. Thank you. Clearly, I did not say or intend to say that Nigerians should take arms.
No, that's not what I mean. I say, what way can they do?
There are several other ways that you can help the security agencies. There are several other ways you can help report crime around you. In Kenya, there is an app they called Shahidu. I don't know if you know about it. When there was violence in Kenya, they created that app where you can give a live and on-the-spot report of what is happening in your vicinity, verified. There are several areas you can help the security agencies to achieve this. Like I told you, the unknown gunman, the bandit, they are somebody's neighbors. I'm not encouraging the neighbor to go after them, but there are steps you can take. You can liaise. There must be this synergy between the security agencies, the civil society organizations, community leaders. These people must get involved in what we are doing. You must make them have responsibilities within them. Community policing. these people know these criminals from their roots. And also, the government also are in possession of sensitive information. The government know the leaders of these criminal gangs. They cannot deny it. You have your report from the NIA, you have your report from DSS, you have your report from every corners. So you can go after the leaders of these gangs, pick them. When you kill the shepherd, what will happen to the sheep? They will scatter. You'll be able to nip them in the bone. So the government should go after them. The government should up their game to stem the tides of insecurity, and they must involve community leaders, youth organizations. They must involve community-based organizations for you to fight this insecurity to the root.
Okay, anyway, these are the solutions. At least Justice Osuji have been able to prefer some solutions. And critical of it is the app you mentioned. I actually read about the app in Kenya that was developed to curtail some of the the challenges Kenyans were facing at the time. And it was to curb election violence. We saw that yield a huge result in the state. But now looking at this, a lot of Nigerians say Nigerians or the government is not thinking outside the box. All we know is some have actually said what Nigerians actually do know is the force. We know how to use a force, and this have actually made Nigerians lose trust in the government in a way. So how can the government actually think outside the box to ensure that some of the solutions are not even being handled by force? They are strategically intelligence are being gathered through whatever means they want to gather it, and they're strategic against the fight against insecurity.
Yes, you see, this fight against insecurity is not always a military thing. The military are not trained for internal insecurity or insurrection. They are trained for external aggression. So using them here has compounded the issues without more. The government must look within the police, within other security agencies, pick them, give them professional training to this regard. And apart from that, you can as well use technology. Technology can come in. What happened to our satellite? What happened to having, during election, we can have drones, we can have area coverage. These are things that INEC must consider. These are things that we must consider. Everything is not about boot and gun. When they used it in Niger Delta, it did not work. But when Jeradua came on board, you see that the place is enjoying relative peace at the moment. So everything must not be boot and gun. We must think outside the box. We must engage, and we must know how to do these things.
Okay, anyway, that is it. In case you're joining us, this is Bright Republic. We've been talking about, the conduct of the election, and talking about how prepared is INEC going into the election, especially with the spate of insecurity that has been reported. Just over a week ago, an INEC official was killed in Imo State during a continuous voter registration. And we've also gotten reports from INEC stating that over 42 of its facilities have been attacked in the country in the past couple of months. We've seen so many reports of vandalism on INEC properties and all of that. And now this goes to ask. Nigerians have been asking, are we sure INEC is ready to conduct the 2023 election so we can have a peaceful, a free and fair election? So how prepared is INEC? INEC severally have actually raised red flags as to the insecurity in the country, but they have also said they've put everything in place to ensure that the election is free and fair without hitches. But the question, Nigerians still have a question mark as to the capacity and the capability of INEC in ensuring the safety of Nigerians if they come out to vote during the presidential election in 2023. Anyway, it's time for us to open the phone lines. Then we can actually get you to talk about what you've heard so far. You want to react to this, you have a solution, you can actually hit us up and join the show. The number to call is 081-30-111-724. 081-30-111-724. You can also drop a message via text. The text number is 070-3372-8313. 070-3372-8313. 313. Please do not call the text number. Just send a message to the text message number. But call us via 081 30 111 724. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Simeon.
Good morning, okay.
Yes, good morning to your colleague. You see, why this insecurity will not end very soon? Because even the former general Tuku Buratai told us that this thing may last for 20 years. See, let me just tell you, our presidency, they were one of the part of this problem. Because when Mr. Buhari won election during 2015, he said, I will give people that voted for me 95%, and those that did not vote for me 5%. Can you see that he has divided the country into two? Because you are the father of the nation, you don't need to make that kind of statement. Because if you cannot work with your citizens, I bet you, with your army, your police, your DSS, you cannot fight insecurity. Those that will give you expo is your citizens. Because they are in the grassroots, they are saying you know the criminals. You understand? They were the ones that will give the police and the army information. But the president came in, started making a comment that will divide the country. It's not like that. Okay, look at what happened in Imo State.
And anyway, for those who are talking about that comment, the president, did you hear the president himself make the statement from his mouth?
Yes. It is something that everybody knows about. That those that voted for me, I will give them 95%.
Did you hear the president? Okay, I'm asking. Did you hear the president make that statement himself? Did you watch him say it?
So who made that? Who made that statement?
So when you make statement, let's make statement that you're sure of, that you have facts and you can actually back it up. Go ahead.
Wait, who made that statement? Because it was something that everybody was saying about. You understand? So what we are saying is that if the president, he should take everybody along. You understand? Because even this Boko Haram, okay, if you watch, what happened? The president were there employing one set of people in the army, in the police, one set of regions. Can you tell me how many Southeast person that is among the security agencies, the leaders of security agencies? Please, we are urging the president that he should please take everybody along. That is how you can win insecurity.
Okay, because thank you.
When you bring everybody along, people will give you information. The country will be in peace. You understand? That is what we are urging them. Please, the insecurity, the INEC, without insecurity, without security, I bet you, I don't think that people will come out for election because your life first before you will come out to say you are voting for anybody. Because when you come out to vote and you will achieve them, your is your name. So
okay, thank you.
You should work hard and destroy this insurgency that is ravaging Nigerians. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, okay, for your submission. You're saying, insecurity will keep on thriving. We'll keep seeing this, provided the government actually has this point where they can actually liaise with our citizens. That's the point, okay, is trying to make. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Habaka from Kubwa.
Habaka, welcome. Good morning.
Yes, I just want to hammer on two things. One is this Imo State illegal refineries and the Jonathan issue.
Okay, that was on the headline. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I thought,
yes, that was on the headline. Go ahead, just go ahead, quickly.
Okay, like you, I heard you mentioning you people, the government should give license for modular refineries.
Yes.
I just want to correct you people on that. I remember Jonathan issued 96 licenses to people to set up modular refinery during his time. Those people could not set it up. And when this government came, another license were issued, and presently at least 3 is operating now. So you see, in Nigeria here, we like illegality. People like doing things illegal. On that issue, it's very unfortunate that so much people died in that Imo fire. Those people in charge, there are some big men that are sponsoring those illegal refineries. And sadly, you know them because they put people forward. So I believe what the government should do is to work hard to get those people involved. Thank you. That is on that. On Jonathan, the issue is that Jonathan is not a Calcari member of APC. So I don't even see any way he will come and say he wants to get a ticket. And he has not even said so. That is number one. And secondly, during the APC next meeting, the president stood up and said there is no consensus in APC constitution. It was stated there. What they have is direct and indirect primary. So anybody thinking of presidential candidate on APC, I think that person don't know. Maybe they don't follow the news or is not current in this political arena. Jonathan, if he's declaring for APC, he should just think he should not do it fast and walk towards the delegate. Maybe we get vote from the delegate. Because I don't think that one is possible. Maybe he's thinking of going back to PDP or declaring PDP. I don't think.
Okay, thank you, Baka. And also on INEC preparedness, do you think INEC is prepared? Oh, sorry, we lost that call. Please do well to call us right back. Okay, 08130111724. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from Buhari.
Okay, welcome, Ibrahim. Go ahead.
You see, the problem we have in this country is that we'll be killing wrong place instead of addressing the issues. Number one, when we look at our judiciary, if you arrest anybody now, sponsoring bandits, you see the number of liars this man will gather, and he will be shouting human rights for a fair hearing. So at the end of the day, he gets away with it. People that look at this country today, they have got free. It's called to declare them innocent. They are not guilty. We are in this country, we see it. That is one of the obstacles that is leading Nigeria progress in fighting any crime in this country. You understand? You see some people like Salah now, the advocates, they will gang up against you. Look at what happened between the executive and Nigeria government, you know. And for how long has this problem been lingering on before this decision comes? Secondly, there's a difference between Niger Delta issues, and the present bandits. Niger Delta were known faces and they have a demand. For this bandit, they are unknown. They have no demand. They are just fighting on their own. So it will be difficult to solve it in the same way that Niger Delta was solved. And second, the last day, you say if INEC is ready. No, as Nigerians, are the Nigerians ready? Not the INEC. Nigerians are only ready for the election 2023. This is the question we should be asking ourselves. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. He's saying, aside asking if INEC is ready going into the 2023 presidential election with the rate of insecurity. Another question is asking is, Nigerians, are we ready for the election? Good morning to you.
Hello, Simeon.
Yes, good morning, Eric.
And good morning to your guest. Also, permit me to congratulate your colleague over his wedding. Wish him a blissful home.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Simeon, let me start from Jonathan, hoping to be a president again in 2023 under APC as a consensus candidate. Jonathan should take note. There is no consensus candidate in APC constitution to produce a presidential flag bearer. So if he has any idea of being a consensus candidate, because I learned elsewhere that they said that is the only option that might make him to pick APC nomination form. So he should also lobby for them to change their constitution to fit in the purpose of him being a consensus candidate. If not, he's not going to get that ticket being on consensus basis, because even if he gets it, we can go to court and we'll get him out of office. APC as a party is a party that ridiculed Jonathan from head to toe. They tarnish the image of Jonathan with all campaign of calumny. Nigerian politicians, for some of us who will be clapping hands and be supporting them in the name of party, all of a sudden they will now leave us in that place and they'll be dining and whining with those people that we think maybe they are not good friends. Some of us don't like our family members and whatever because of the way APC we are campaigning against Jonathan in 2015. And here is Jonathan going back to dine and wine with APC, leaving some of us who were not supporting another person in APC. So what are they telling us? What did he forget in Nigeria that is coming back for it? We know his administration was better than what we have right now. But Jonathan is not even the one to correct what we have on ground right now. Jonathan should stay where he is as a statesman. He should not think of coming back in party. Is that the reason why since he left off he has not been going to PDP to have anything to do with PDP? PDP told him in 2015, Jonathan, don't contest. He insisted that I'm going to contest. He contested and PDP lost the election. Yeah, he's telling us that he wants to go back to APC as a consensus candidate. We are waiting for him. I will vote against him. On the issue of Kuka and presidency, see, presidency campaign on 3 agendas. If they claim that Kuka is one of the people who is making them not to get whatsoever equipment from this thing, is it the same Kuka that is making them not to perform economically? Is it the same Kuka that has make them not to have any victory in a fight against corruption? So we keep on blaming people for whatever their underperformance and what the responsibility they are supposed to accept. They are running away from their responsibility and be shifting it to other people. They should leave Kuka alone and face what they were elected to do. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for your message. Thank you. We appreciate that. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. You're welcome.
This is Pastor Poga from Kubwa.
Okay, welcome, Pastor Toga.
I just want to beg our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, not to go and get his image in APC. He has done well as a president, and the APC did their best to demarket him in 2015. And unfortunately, he lost that election. So he should not go there and then make mockery of himself. To remain as a statesman to our nation. And on the INEC preparedness to conduct a free and fair election, I want to put to you that during the 2019 election, we were thinking that from Yobe, Borno, and Bauchi, part of Gombe, we will not receive results from INEC. They will tell us of inconclusiveness. But unfortunately, after announcing the result from the south and the southeast, we saw massive results coming from Yobe, Borno, and Bauchi. And we don't know how that election was conducted. I think that situation that happened that time cannot be repeated this time. So they should work on security, or else there will not be an election in some part of Nigeria, especially the southeast. And they should talk to the government, those are in charge, to do something about it. On the Kuka, Reverend Bishop Kuka is a man of God, and he's speaking concerning Nigerians. He did not segregate when he was talking, whether he was talking on the ground for Christian or for Muslim. He only spoke on that they should do something for the well-being of Nigerians. For presidency to come up and attack him and say he is talking because he wants to instigate America against Nigeria because they are Christianly dominated, I think that is very unfair of them. They should think very well. I think they have their own brain in their own hand. They should take out to govern. They still have some time in their hand to put things right. Thank you, and may God bless Nigeria.
Okay, Pastor Toga. So, Justice Osuji, you wanted to address one question asked earlier?
Yes, it's particularly about Jonathan's return to power.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The question is if Jonathan is still qualified. If the answer is no, if the answer is yes, then the party that is flying becomes immaterial and of no moment. To me, party is a vehicle to power. It doesn't matter whether it's APC or PDP. What matters is if Jonathan is credible. And for those saying that he's now an international person, he should respect his statesmanship. Are we caused in the country? Is there anything that bars us from having a man that has international reputation from, navigating this ship of nation out of the woods? At this moment, we should be talking about credibility. The country is in a very dire nature, very critical, that we cannot even afford to hand it over to anybody that will test run it. So if Jonathan is qualified and you are now afraid of him going to APC and you think that he's somebody that you can, why not we go ahead and allow him do his thing?
Okay.
If he wins, good and fine for us. If you think that he's good enough, let him go. And if you won't vote for him, good and fine. If you vote for him, let him navigate this ship of state out of the wood, out of this Bermuda. We have seen it all. And this critical moment requires experience, international exposure, and composure. We cannot afford to gamble or to test run this country any longer.
Okay, anyway, that is you reacting to that. Remember, you can be a part of the show, react to whatever you want to react to. You can also talk about the conversation on INEC's preparedness going into the 2023 election, especially with the spate of insecurity being reported, INEC staff being killed, over 42 facilities of INEC being vandalized or attacked in the past couple of months. Is INEC truly ready to go into the 2023 election? Some have actually said that there should be a push for the, INEC should postpone the election and ensure that every problem or challenge Nigeria is facing currently is being tackled before they talk about election. But whether we like it or not, election is statutory, and on that day, INEC is supposed to conduct election, except there is a reason that INEC has to postpone the election. Hello, good morning to you. Hello,
Good morning, Simeon.
Yeah, okay, good morning. You have just less than 60 seconds now, please.
Please, I want to
You have
beg
less than
good
60
luck.
seconds.
Hello?
You have less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, no problem. Let me just, I will not move it up to 60 seconds. See, I just want to beg good luck, Jonathan. Please, you should not keep himself doing the work of what God gave to him. He left Nigeria in peace. And so, please, you should not stay away so that he will not come and rubbish himself. Understand me? Because Nigeria is a critical condition now. And we need somebody that will change it, not good luck, Jonathan. Because when he was ruling this country, we did not admire, many people did not admire him. So let him go with the glory that God gave to him. Thank you. Okay,
thank you so much. Basically, as much as we are reacting to the headline, you could also react to INEC's preparedness, the conversation we had with our guest talking about Justice Osuji, talking about INEC's preparedness going into the 2023 election. Is INEC really prepared? Good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, this is Ibrahim calling from Buhari.
Okay, go ahead, please.
You see, issue of Hassan Kuka. It's not today or this administration. It has been like that since. Especially any time another Muslim become president. Sort of the thing of procedure is the same Hassan Kuka we are talking of. And everybody respects him. But he plays just bigotry in all cases. Even before this president becomes the president, you know his campaign against you whenever there is any functioning. You understand? He pretends to hide from the veil of religion to play his own politics.
Oh, sorry, we lost that call. Please do well to call us right back, okay? We missed that call. When you're calling, please ensure you keep your comments as civil as possible. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Olajide.
God bless you people. God bless your station. God bless Nigeria. Quickly, because I see that time has started going, and I've been trying. It's 9 a.m. I couldn't get you guys, but I thank God now. Let me start from the issue of Father Kuka. Honestly, he's a well-respected clergy man of God. But they say there is time for everything. All what Father Kuka is saying, they are right. None is wrong. But at what time is Father Kuka saying it? The first one was on Christmas Day last year. On Christmas Day that we expected to hear a word that will cool, that will soothe the soul, the mind of Nigerians. So Father Kuka shows the other side. On Easter Day this year, the same thing. When we were thinking that, yes, we should hear a word that will bring succor, that will bring truth to the souls of Nigerians, it is another thing from Father Kuka. But so far, so good. Father Kuka has his right to say whatever he wants to say. For Father Kuka, please look at the temperature of the nation and know the time. If Father want to speak, not at the time we are in festivity. So
Panakuka should rearrange his talk. He can call a press conference, not on the altar on Christmas or on Easter Day. Secondly, if Panakuka speaks, does the federal government have no right to reply him? Each time federal government replies, everybody will start talking. But should federal government not talk or reply to whatever Panakuka has said? Lastly, on the preparation of election for 2023, Ibrahim from Buhari has said it. It is left for Nigerians to prepare for it. No matter how INEC prepares, if we Nigerians and politicians refuse to prepare, there will be no election. But I pray there should be election so that this government, they stay as evil, they will be able to vote the government out. God bless Nigeria. God bless.
Okay, thank you so much, Olajide, for that particular one. We'll take one last call and then we officially take our closing statement from our guest, who's right here talking about Justice Osuji, as we talk about the preparedness of INEC going into the 2023 election, especially with the spate of insecurity. And Nigerians have actually talked about, when it comes to election period, we see the election apathy Nigerians actually showcase. Such is the case of Anambra State. We saw the low turnout of electorate during the Anambra election. We saw the number of individuals that were even accredited and the number of Nigerians who turned out. And insecurity was the major case why Nigerians and even Anambra actually said they couldn't turn out because they were afraid for their own life and also the security of their loved ones who would actually, in other words, go out to vote out there. And we've seen the same thing. Apathy aside, Nigerians saying our vote doesn't count. At least now there is an electoral act that even Nigerians are saying since the electoral act has been signed, we are sure that Nigerians' vote will count. But now there's also a question mark on security. And we've seen the same case play out in some state elections and all of that. So now, looking at it keenly, Nigerians have been enjoined by you that they should take the fight of security as their own business. They shouldn't let this be the fight of the federal government. So in your closing remarks, what will you actually say to Nigerians as well going to the election, especially getting their PVCs, because we know there are a lot of Nigerians who are even yet to get their permanent voter cards?
Okay, to Nigerians and particularly to people from the southeast and other areas that are shouting there won't be any election, we want referendum. That should not grant you in burning INEC facilities. You should bear in mind also that the INEC facilities you are burning, the INEC you are attacking, is the umpire that will conduct the referendum that you are yearning for. In the event that this referendum is approved, it's still the same INEC. So INEC is visually not your problem. You should stop burning their facilities. Allow them to conduct their elections. Go to the ballot, elect credible representatives, and let them use legitimate means to champion your cause rather than burning facilities. When you want to enter a house and you find out that the house is locked, you do not bring down the house because you want to go inside. By the time you will find yourself inside, you will find nowhere to stay. So stop burning INEC facilities because they are also the body saddled with the responsibility of conducting the referendum you're yearning for. And to Nigerians, let us take this security issue as our personal issues. Go out, get registered, participate in the continuous voters registration. Register online too, do your revalidation online, collect your PVCs, and get ready for the election. One thing is very sacrosanct, 2023, except there will be need for any novelty, which we are not praying for, there must be an election because we are not ready for any constitutional crisis. There must be an election. Is very sacrosanct. So go out there, prepare yourself, get your voter's card. That is your greatest power to effect a change in government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Justice Osuji, for coming and being a part of the show. Hopefully we get to see you some other time as well, right here on Bright Republic when we extend our invitation to you. Thank you so much, Ejiro Onwata, the newly married man in the studio. Thank you so much, Ejiro, for coming today on the show.
Thank you, Simeon.
I know Ejiro wanted to talk about INEC, but keep yours in the freezer. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And also to Dr. Elagushi, thank you so much for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you, sir.
For having me.
Okay, of course, Bright Republic makes a return tomorrow at 8 o'clock on the dot. OBO Sports coming up right now with Bright Sports. My name is Simeon Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your morning.